Alrighty, what's going on, guys? This is Brother Kane, and whether you guys are buckled up, ready to go, or not, let's get right onto the urban legend videos. Today, we'll be talking about the St. Anthony Hotel, located in downtown San Antonio, which has been a center of luxurious relaxation and wondrous adventures for over hundreds of years. Some of the biggest names of each passing decade, such as Ronald Reagan, Eleanor Roosevelt, Mickey Rooney, Judy Garland, and General Douglas MacArthur, and the list goes on, had all stayed at this hotel and were satisfied with its resplendent rooms and enlightened atmosphere. Now, let me inform you all on a little history of this expensive and luxurious hotel. Now, the St. Anthony Hotel was constructed and founded in 1909 by three cattle ranchers, F.M. Swearingen, B.L. Naylor, and A.H. Jones, who all had the dream of this hotel being built and designed from day one for ultimate luxury and a way to attract wealthy tourists to the up and growing city of San Antonio. The technological advancements were beyond anything that anyone has expected, let alone imagined from its time. Each guest room was equipped with telephones, automatic electric lighting, and private baths, so even the levels of convenience not only were unheard of, but also delighted every guest that stayed in this hotel. The upgrades were very constant, which kept bringing in wealthier guests. Now, unfortunately, selling alcohol by the drink was illegal in public places in Texas, even in the 1930s when the prohibition had ended. Now, for those who don't know about the prohibition, it all goes back to the 18th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, which banned the manufacture, transportation, and sale of intoxicating liquors, which was known as prohibition. It was validated by the states on January 16, 1919, and officially went into effect a year later, January 17, 1920, with the passage of the Volstead Act. Prohibition was difficult to enforce even with new legislation. The increase of bootlegging, basically the increase in illegal production and sale of liquor, the growth of illegal drinking spots, and the rise in gang violence and other crimes led to waning, basically decreasing support for prohibition by the end of the 1920s. In early 1933, Congress acquired a resolution proposing a 21st Amendment to the Constitution that would repeal the 18th, and with the 21st Amendment being approved by the states on December 5, 1933, it immediately put an end to prohibition. In the 1930s, the hotel had opened the St. Anthony Club, which was a private invitation-only lounge, so it was not public at all, and the only way you'd be able to get in is by being sent an invitation or given an invitation. And this was a lounge where the wealthy could go out for a drink and a meal. During this time, the hotel's original elevators were replaced with a massive air conditioning system, making it the very first centrally air-conditioned hotel in the world. The St. Anthony Hotel also featured a new drive-through check-in desk, which allowed guests to take the new elevators directly to their rooms to freshen up out of the Texas heat before returning to the awe-inspiring lobby to socialize and prance down Peacock Valley. Now that you know the history of this luxurious hotel, let's move on to the spirits and ghosts that haunt these walls and lurk amongst the halls of this hotel. The most irritating of the hotel's ghostly residents, as far as the staff are concerned, are a young couple who like to squat, basically meaning unlawfully occupying themselves in empty guest rooms. All the more troubled and puzzled for their willingness to move around the building, the couple is usually found embracing or sipping drinks with arms interlocked, and rather not, but they just do not like to be interrupted. The concierge at the front desk have received numerous of complaints of double booking from living guests, basically guests that experience these occurrences of this couple being seen. The guests would usually try to go to another guest room to stay with them for the night, so that way they don't have to experience or see these occurrences. That's basically what that means. But The front desk had received numerous of complaints of double booking from living guests wanting to settle into their rooms. When staff arrived to investigate, the phantom couple disappeared, leaving everything as they found it. Now, with the 10th floor being one of the newest areas of the hotel, it has been known as the most actively haunted, in part due to the activities of the spirit of the man with the crooked toupee. Besides his unfortunate signature hairpiece, he can be recognized by his tall figure and scruffy black suit. Now, if you're looking to catch or even experience the paranormal, you would definitely have an immediate 100% chance of witnessing it on the 10th floor. However, with that in mind, you won't have the slightest chances of getting a good night's sleep. When the man with the crooked toupee is in a good mood, he may only share your elevator ride up to his home floor and tap you on the shoulder before suddenly vanishing. The man with the crooked toupee is better known for lurking the hallways in the wee hours, so basically any time after midnight, so it would be between 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. And yes, even during the witch's hour, which is 3 a.m. He would be lurking down the hallways with his belt in his hand, loudly snapping and snapping and snapping it against the guest room doors and radiating an icy chill throughout the floor. If you're ever staying on the 10th floor, I would strongly suggest staying indoors after midnight, otherwise you will experience extreme and brutal pain with this man's belt. Now, the Lady of Lavender and the Lady in Red are believed to haunt their own small corners of the hotel, though the Lady in Red has never been seen as much. The Lavender Lady is named for the fragrance of her perfume, which alerts the staff to her invisible presence. She is typically found in the hotel library where she tends to borrow and rearrange books, turn lights on and off, and give guests the impression of someone reading over their shoulders. The Lady in Red is known mainly for her striking appearance. Wearing an elegant and stylish red sheath dress and stockings, she is usually seen entering the ground floor women's bathroom, rushing into one of the stalls and immediately disappearing without a trace. No one knew her name, however, according to legends, she hesitantly ran out of a party early due to feeling ill and died of a heart attack, not to be found for several hours. Now, if you thought those were bad, then the next one should be much worse. The St. Anthony Hotel is allegedly haunted by a bona fide monster, Walter Emrich. Around 1965, Emrich checked in alone on a cold day without any luggage and specifically requested to stay in room 636. The fact that room 636 was already taken had made Emrich upset, so he decided to take room 536 instead. Now, somehow Walter Emrich identified himself as someone else according to the guest book that he signed and murdered a woman in room 636 of the Gunter Hotel, which was primarily a block away from the St. Anthony Hotel. Now, possibly out of spite, he wanted to stay in the room that the woman had taken, which is the reason why he possibly had murdered her. Now, the police were still crossing through the blood and fragments at the scene, searching for a body and an identity that would never be found and constantly trying to piece together what had occurred in all the mess. Now, all the signs, all of the evidence, all the pieces had pointed to Emrich having slaughtered his unidentified traveling companion, viciously putting her remains through a meat grinder and washed them down the plumbing. Now, that's scary. That is extremely scary and the most malevolent way to murder somebody. Once the staff at the St. Anthony became concerned about Emrich's unusual behavior, they called the police to room 536 where Emrich was staying in. Now, unfortunately, Emrich had shot himself in the head before the police could enter, taking with him all the missing pieces of this horrifically strange picture. Now, even though room 536 had been split into two separate rooms, some people would say that Emrich's spirit still lingers where he died, waiting to brag about or repeat his gruesome claim to fame. Now, I will say they actually do have a book of this mysterious murder of room 636, which you could probably find on Amazon if anyone's looking to kind of figure out what really had happened and how he even got into her not apartment but her hotel room. And was this out of spite because she had already taken the room number that Emrich wanted? So that is basically all I have for you guys today. I want to thank you all for tuning in to watch this. I know it probably hasn't been the best, but you can only do what you can. And with that in mind, make sure you guys subscribe if you haven't already. That way we can keep moving up and hopefully be on the road to 400 subscribers. I'm really looking forward to seeing new faces on here and seeing the same faces I've already seen from the beginning, from day one where I started doing YouTube. So make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up if you like what you see as well, and we will continue on with urban legends as well as cosplaying and so much more. So that is all I got for you guys today, and I will see you guys next week. Peace.